Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Mark and I tinker with bikes, and occasionally get to ride them too. This is my 1999 Kona Chute, but this is what it looked like a year ago. Notice the difference? Yep, the V-brakes are gone. Back in '99, this bike was spec'd with avid arch rivals, while both fork and frame had tabs to accept IS mount disc brakes. The bike rode fine with V-brakes, but, well, rim brakes aren't that great in the wet, and the arch rivals have a problem with play in the pad carriers, meaning they're not that great. To make this bike better, I'm upgrading the brakes, but I'm keeping it close to the era spec. I thought this was going to be a nice simple swap, but things get a little tricky, so keep watching and let me know what you think of the bike and the conversion at the end. Now, the first job obviously involves removing all the old brake setup, including the wheels. I'll just need to swap the tyres and the cassette over later on in the video. The arch rivals that I'm removing were meant to be a pretty good caliper back in the day. They featured a built-in brace which would have reduced flex in the frame and fork, but after all the years, all the joints have become fatigued and they're a little bit slack. Even with the upgraded pads, I never really thought they were that good. I'm not going to be needing the brake post now, so they can be removed with an 8mm spanner and put in my spares box in case they need it again in the future. And just as a note, to remove and install the grips, I'm going to be using hairspray. Spray it on the bars and inside the grips, and when it dries, they never slip. Wow, they were loose. Now we're getting onto the brakes, so here's what I have. I'm adding a set of AHope Mono Mini brakes and a set of AHope XC hubs. For now, the rims are mismatched, but as I'm editing this video, I've just found a matching disc rim, so sometime in the future that will be changed. I don't have too much experience with upgrading disc brakes, and especially AHope brakes. I thought it was going to be a case of buy the brakes, look at the disc size, fit the discs and brakes, and ride. But I'm sure anyone who has dealt with early IS disc brakes before will tell you it's not that simple. My first mistake came in looking up the brakes to find the rotor size. I have AHope Mono Minis and they have a 3 stamped on the calipers. I found a really helpful table for the AHope Mini caliper, which gave me rotor sizes for all the different caliper models.
Those washers go on the outside.
For example, for mine, caliper number 3, on the front I should be running a 185mm and on the rear a 165mm. If you had had a caliper number 5, that would be slightly different, and the same again for 7, etc. Easy, right? Well, there's my first mistake. I have AHope Mono Mini brakes and not Mini. So what's the difference? Well, the Mini was the earlier generation and came in an all silver body that had a 2-piece construction, i.e. you can split the caliper in half. The Mono Mini is the slightly later model, sometime around 2004, has a black coating with a gold piston and is a 1-piece construction. Sounds the same, but the important difference is the Mono Mini needs 5mm smaller rotors. So after spending £35 per rotor on the special sizes,
Like that?
I found they were too big. My second mistake was to think that IS calipers bolted straight to the mounts. No, they don't. You need to centre the caliper on the disc, and that requires a specific amount of spacers between the caliper and the mount. I ended up with one washer on the front and a 5mm spacer on the rear, but you won't know until you try this. My third problem has already shown itself, but only the eagle-eyed amongst you would have noticed. My rear caliper mount is actually on the frame upside down. I have a factory fault. If you compared the way my bracket is welded to the frame versus others, it's clear to see. But it was also pretty bloody obvious when I tried to fix the correct disc size, only for it to be way too small. Okay. Oh, that's so far off. Let's just peek out there. Needs like... completely the wrong size. Bobby, have you come out to fix the rest of this? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that was me realising the rear rotor is too small for some reason and the caliper needs to be spaced. And this is me realising the front rotor is too big. Of course, I was so confused after all this, so I had to hit the forums and find a solution. That's when I discovered the difference between the Mono Mini and the Mini. But in the meantime, I was trying my own thing and I thought getting 175mm rotors front and rear might be the answer. Another 70 quid down the drain. I'm going to put that's clean. Sorry. Alright, well, apparently 175 is too small. So now I've gone too small. Great, that was another £35 disc. Wonderful. And this is me chucking on a slightly warped 180mm on the front and realising it fits perfectly. One, and then just drop the bolt. Still needs to go out a little bit more as well. And this is the difference between 175mm and 180mm on the rear. Oh, and I also added another washer to space out the caliper, so it was more like 6mm on the rear. And with that, apart from ordering some slightly longer bolts, the job was finally done. So what better place to go for a test ride than at the Forest of Dean? Oh my god. Fucks, I think. Oh god. What an awesome bike. If you want to see the rest of this footage, look out for a video midweek. It was an amazing day and the bike rode so well. So with that, another video is over. I hope you learned something from today's trial and error, because I certainly did. I usually like to keep things period correct, but if you've got the tabs on your bike to upgrade to discs and it's going to be a bike that sees some speed, do it. Having discs gave me so much more confidence to push a little bit harder. And yes, the process to upgrade wasn't quite as simple as I thought, but there are always people around that can offer advice and help you through it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more. Ride safe.